Hey class, today we are talking about the Middle Ages still, and we're talking about the Vikings. We talked a little bit about the Vikings when we talked about Alfred the Great last week and how he defeated the Vikings. He defeated them and sent them to the eastern part of England, but he didn't run them out completely. And today we're going to talk about a little bit about what they did, the Vikings did, and why they were treated as barbarians, I guess, or barbaric. Some of the things they did, and about how they came about, and it was the end of the Viking Age eventually. So that's what we are talking about today. And here we go. All right. So the Viking people, they lived in Northern Europe during the Middle Ages. And if you look here, this is Northern Europe, mostly Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. And they played a major role in Northern Europe during the Middle Ages from 800 CE to about 1066 CE, so about 266 years.
Major roles in the Middle Ages. The Vikings were people who lived in Northern Europe during the Middle Ages. They originally settled the Scandinavian lands and called home lands that are today the countries of Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. The Vikings played a major role in Northern Europe during the Middle Ages, especially during the Viking Age, which was from 800 CE to 1066 CE.
All right, so the word Viking actually means to raid in Old Norse. So, and if I say raiding somebody, it means you're going and you're pillaging, you're plundering, you're stealing from someone. So the Vikings would board these long ships that look like this right here, and they would head across the waters to raid villages, including islands such as Great Britain. They first showed up in England to raid villages in about 787 CE, so about 787 when they showed up.
Viking raids. The word Viking means to raid in Old Norse. The Vikings would board their long ships and head across the waters to raid villages on the northern coast of Europe, including islands such as Great Britain. They first showed up in England to raid villages in 787 CE.
All right, they were known to attack defenseless monasteries. Monasteries were like churches. Okay, they had monks there, and if you look at the picture here, these were monks. The monks were pretty much defenseless. They weren't warriors. They weren't soldiers. They weren't anything. They were people of God. So it got them a bad reputation. But to the Vikings, hey, they looked at it. Hey, these monasteries have gold. They have stuff in them that we can take and use for ourselves. So they looked at them as easy targets.
Viking raids continued. The Vikings were known to attack defenseless monasteries when they raided. This got them a bad reputation as barbarians, but to the Vikings, monasteries were wealthy and undefended, easy targets.
So eventually these Vikings began to settle in lands outside of Scandinavia. All right, and in the 9th century, they settled portions of Great Britain, Germany, and Iceland. And then they moved into northeastern Europe, including Russia. Some of them did, and they also settled along the coast of northern France, where they were the ones that established Normandy, which means Northmen.
Expansion into Europe. Eventually, the Vikings began to settle in lands outside of Scandinavia. In the 9th century, they settled portions of Great Britain, Germany, and Iceland. In the 10th century, they moved into northeastern Europe, including Russia. They also settled along the coast of northern France, where they established Normandy, which means Northmen.
All right, so by the start of the 11th century, the Vikings were at the peak of their expansion. This man right here, this is Leif Erikson. Leif Erikson actually made it all the way to North America way before Christopher Columbus ever came to North America. But it was hundreds of years before Columbus, actually. And he started a brief settlement in what is today Canada.
Expansion continued. By the start of the 11th century, the Vikings were at the peak of their expansion. One Viking, Leif Erikson, son of Eric the Red, actually made it to North America. He started a brief settlement in present-day Canada. This was many hundreds of years before Columbus.
All right. So in 1066, the Vikings were led by King Harald Hardrada of Norway. All right, this man right here. They were defeated by the English and King Harold Godwinson. And this battle where they were defeated is sometimes used to symbolize the end of the Viking Age for those 266 years or so. So at this point, the Vikings, they stopped expanding their territory. They stopped raiding, and raiding became less frequent.
Defeat in Britain and end of the Viking Age. In 1066, the Vikings, led by King Harald Hardrada of Norway, were defeated by the English and King Harold Godwinson. The loss of this battle is sometimes used to symbolize the end of the Viking Age. At this point, the Vikings stopped expanding their territory and raiding became less frequent.
All right. So one major reason, though, for the end of the Viking Age, all right, was the coming of age of Christianity. All right. They kind of absorbed the European culture and everything. Scandinavia was converted to Christianity, and the Vikings became more and more a part of mainland Europe. And when they did this, the Viking Age kind of not, I won't want to say it failed, but it just kind of dwindled away. All right. The identity and boundaries of three countries, Sweden, Denmark, and Norway, began to form as well with this.
End of the Viking Age continued. A major reason for the end of the Viking Age was the coming of Christianity. With Scandinavia being converted to Christianity and becoming part of Christian Europe, the Vikings became more and more of a part of mainland Europe. The identity and boundaries of the three countries, Sweden, Denmark, and Norway, began to form as well.
All right, so number one, what land did the Vikings originally call home? Was it A, Scandinavia, B, Massachusetts, or C, Jamestown? It is A, Scandinavia. Scandinavia is where they originally called home.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Number two, what did the word Viking mean in Old Norse? It meant A, to raid, B, nothing, or C, to sail. It meant to raid or to pillage, to plunder, to steal. That's what it meant in Old Norse, the word Viking.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Number three, what did the Vikings attack because it was an easy target? A, Gastonia, B, monasteries, or C, Jamestown. They attacked monasteries is what they attacked because the people there were unarmed. They were monks. They were priests. They were unarmed. They weren't fighters. They weren't soldiers, but they had wealth there. So the Vikings saw this. Hey, these are easy targets. We're going to attack them and take their stuff.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Number four, which Viking made it to North America before Christopher Columbus? A, John Cabot, B, John Adams, or C, Leif Erikson? It is C, Leif Erikson. He made it all the way to North America before Columbus had ever thought of. Okay, hundreds of years before Columbus. So but he don't get credit for that very often. Number five, what helped put an end to the Viking Age? A, Vikings convert to Christianity, B, Mr. Betts, or C, nothing. A, the Vikings converted to Christianity, and when they did, they got absorbed into mainland Europe. So their culture got absorbed into it, and they absorbed the European culture. And when they did that, it just kind of drifted away. Okay, the Viking Age did.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
All right, class, be sure to go on Schoology, get your credit by going in and submitting the assignment. And I will see you next time. As we discuss more Middle Ages. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.